Okay. I had no idea that was cutting me off. I was being guided. So, yeah, this guy was very abusive, and I was not allowed to see my friends. He would, I remember I hitchhiked all the way home from the beach, which was like 60, 80 miles away. Um, it was just, I really put myself in some dangerous situations. And, and so I began getting curious about threesomes. And that's when I opened up that door to allowing my best friend come in between my relationship and fool around together, the whole threesome thing. And so that's when that door opened for me. And then and then I got pregnant. I began working at the bar and I got pregnant. So I had to leave, and he was like, I was actually going to break up with him. I was actually going to break up with him. I had got the guts because every single time I would try, he would abuse me. Um, don't really need to go into detail. So, but I mean, I was abused. Um, and so I was gonna break up with him, and he was like, "No." He was like, "You're pregnant." I'm like, "I'm not fucking pregnant." Well, let me tell you. I mean, sorry, those were my words, though. Um, I was. I went home, took a pregnancy test, and wouldn't you know? But God doesn't make mistakes. Amen. God does not make mistakes. So I was blessed to have this baby, and just my son Anthony. And when I was pregnant, he was not there for me. Wouldn't you know? He was always at Wet and Wild, and sorry. He was always out with his friends. It just some things just weren't meant to be, and that's good. Anyway. Um, so I began smoking weed during my pregnancy. I I wanted to escape. Wasn't happy. Um, and then I had my son, and I remember that we got into a fight, and he was standing in the kitchen, and I was standing in the living room, and he had an unopened can of Pepsi, and he said something, I and mumbled, and it pissed him off, and so he threw it at me, and it hit my leg. Well, yo, our son was just swinging in a seat right next to me, and I was like, it's one thing to me, but for our child, no. I just want to say right now, God has done some amazing things in this man's life. He has Um, he is really, he's really changed. He has a beautiful, wonderful wife who's so great. She's such a great stepmother with my son. And I just gotta say, I'm just so thankful for that. You know, and so I was, when he about hit, when that unopened can of Pepsi about hit my baby, it was like, yo, it's done. And he spit in my face. I'm like, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. I'm sick and tired of it. I gotta get away. And so apparently, I went back to the bar to work, and he, you know, got with his wife now. Um, so after that, things took off for me. Um, I became working at the bar. I got into harder drugs. I got into crack. Um, partied, orgies. Yeah. Just any place where I could escape. Any place to fill that void is what I was looking for. The whole time it was God. I didn't know, but I thought what I was doing was cool. And then I started getting a bad reputation, and that's just something you don't want to do around, your neighborhood. People, you walk in and people, oh, so easy right there. You know, um, but at the time, under the influence of alcohol and drugs, yeah, I was easy. I ain't gonna lie. Um, and so after that, I I was running away. I began doing meth, and that was like never home. Or when I was home, I wasn't in my right state of mind. Going back when I was with Anthony, it was around my 11th year, my junior year in high school. I ended up getting sciatica, and it was caused from, actually, I was washing my dog, and I felt like a sharp pull in my back, but I ignored it, it's okay. And no, it wasn't. That hurt. I could barely walk. I could barely sit. Oh my God, it was so painful. So I ended up going to the doctor, and that's when the doctor gave me pain pills. So then I was able to talk my way into getting what I wanted. I had my way with words, manipulating people, doing them what I wanted them to do. And it was like a power thing I had. I was in control because I was in that controlling, abusive relationship. Well, no, not anymore. I'm taking control. And I did. I controlled myself right to the doctor to get on Xanax. And when I was with Anthony, when I was with that other guy, I was taking depression pills, like Prozac. But once I got away from him, I got off the Prozac. Because I'm like, oh, I'm not depressed. I'm not suffering with anything. I don't need to take this. Well, and then I started drinking. I started doing a lot more drugs. I started having orgies with people. What? Yeah, girl. What's wrong with you? But that was my escape. That was my escape route. And then something had a burst inside me. Oh, let's go to school. I graduated high school, by the way. I did. I graduated high school. Um, but so I went to college and I studied in massage therapy. And sorry, I'm stretching my legs here. So I studied in massage therapy, and I loved it. Oh my God, I love giving massages and getting massages, and it was just so much fun. And I did really good. I mean, I made honor roll, and I ain't kidding, I ain't lying. I haven't made honor roll since like second grade. And so I was really, really proud of myself. But I was still using. I definitely was still using. And, ooh, hello, money. And I remember I was going with this guy's mom, my ex's mom, to a Nelly concert. Or actually, no, that wasn't it. I had, when, when this guy and I were together, when we would fight, I would run out of the house and he would chase me, and I would bang on people's doors to let me in, to get away, to try to escape, because I couldn't. And his neighbor would hear me, and I ran into his neighbor again, and I didn't know that he sold coke. And so he had some, and I actually, he walked into the bar that I was working at, and I got his number, and I just randomly, regularly going over to his house, and he was, really good. He became a really good friend to me, but he wanted much more than friendship. And I didn't want that, but he was so good to my son and such a good babysitter, so I could go out. It was like, well, okay. And so I had sexual relations with him, and so um and so I had sexual relations with this guy, and something that he would do is, when we would do coke, he would talk about the Bible to me. I know, sounds really funky, right? It doesn't sound right. Talk about the Bible while you're doing drugs? Kind of, what's that? Why would you do that? But he did, and for some odd reason, it it stuck with me. Because it stirred my spirit. It stirred my spirit. Hold on, I'll be right back.